Hi everyone. Today is Friday, October 17th, 2025, and this is a message for the collective. I'm going to open up today's reading with some oracle cards, some sacred geometry oracle cards. And I'm going to present the question, how is it that we can align with the highest version of ourselves today, moving forward? How can we tap into our creative centers and find solutions to the things that have been pressing us? And how can we shift our perspectives to find appreciation and unconditional love in all aspects of our life? All right, so we've got transmutation presented reversed. We've got the Kabbalah. And we've got calm within. This is a cycle of transformation, of change that you are currently going through or will go through. If you find that you are sort of going through a shift in your life, in your inner world, your outer world, this is a reminder that you are connected to everything, everyone, every experience, and that what needs to happen to produce peace within yourself as you move through this change is to change and shift your perspective on change. Now, most of us become afraid when we think about having to shift our life or the way we think about things. We hold on so tightly to our beliefs that we don't make room for the things that we actually want, because many times safety and familiarity just feel better, especially as we get older. Our ability to see change or even to want it becomes sort of minimized. We think that by wanting change, we're going to affect everyone else in our lives in a negative way. But remember that you are the center point of your life, that everything happens through you, beginning from within. So this is a shift and a cycle that wants to move you towards a more peaceful path forward. It almost feels like that's what you've been asking for, is inner peace. And once you can get to that point of inner peace, you'll be able to see that manifest outside, in your outer world, within the people that surround you. And even more importantly, you'll be able to keep your peace when chaos is sort of bubbling up around you and other people. You won't feel the need to save anyone. You will be able to be present with them and be able to say the things that need to be said and do the things that need to be done. Okay, let's pull some tarot on this. That was a good open. I'm getting this understanding of spirituality, of needing to dig deeper, to tune into your spirituality, your beliefs surrounding your spirit and what you believe, where you came from, what you're experiencing as a human. Sort of taking the time to tune into your spiritual beliefs and ask yourself, are these mine? Were these taught to me? And if there's an unfamiliar energy within them, if there's a discomfort within them, go within. Ask yourself the questions like, is this something that I want to bring with me forward? Is this belief holding me back? A lot of reflective energy here. All right, so let's pull some tarot on this. The Knight of Cups reversed. So something that you're not seeing, an offer, something that is being offered to you, an emotion that you kind of hold yourself away from, that you don't really want to explore, but comes up often. And all you've done through your whole life or through this period in your life is sort of just bury it. You bury the emotion because you fear looking at it. You fear what will happen, what box you're going to open if you are to look at these feelings that keep presenting itself. But what's happening here is that is your path to peace, is to look at something you don't really want to look at within yourself. Temperance. That's the path you're on right now, is balance, is wanting to find balance, is peace, is wanting to find peace. And peace and balance seem to go hand in hand in most experiences within people. Not to say that when you experience something chaotic that it's not supposed to be there. Everything is happening as it should. And when you treat things, even the chaotic things, even the things that, you know, frustrate you or make you question what it is that is happening around you, not because you don't quite understand what is happening. Know that everything is happening as it should. Everything is happening for a reason, and everything is happening so that you can see yourself in a different way. You can experience life in a different way. Everything is happening for you. And when you can show up with that belief and that perspective, things work out differently. And I think that is the path that is being called forth within you, is being able to show up in any experience with peace and with the understanding that this is a gift, this moment is a gift, and to stay present with it, because you just never know what's going to happen here. Now, you may be held back by past experiences, so you put up these defensive walls, energetic defensive walls, and you don't even realize that you have them up. But take time to really pay attention to how you react to certain things that happen over and over again in your life, because it is that wall that needs to come down that will help you move into that emotion that you've been sort of ignoring, so that you can make space for more balance in your life, and you can be able to see what it is that might be holding you back from the peace that you've been asking for. The Three of Wands. Once you see these things, you'll be able to, once you acknowledge these emotions, and this may seem so simple, but you'd be surprised how reluctant most of us are to dive into our own emotions and our own past and our own trauma. But once you do that, you'll be able to see a different version of you. You'll be able to see life differently, and you will, by seeing it differently, you will create a different reality. And that's the beginning of something that is more in alignment with who you truly are, who you planned to be before you even got here. And so the Three of Wands is definitely a good looking forward card that requires confidence. And what I'm feeling is a sort of forgiveness, not just for other people if anyone has hurt you before, but mostly for yourself. In fact, not mostly, it is for yourself, to be able to forgive yourself for holding on to things that don't serve you, for repeating patterns that have led you down the same toxic path. It's time now to move forward and to dive into, do the shadow work, the emotional shadow work, so that you can release all that pent-up energy and allow yourself to heal. Okay, now I'm just going to pull some guidance cards on this, and I'm going to ask for guidance moving forward as you take your peace, as you take this peaceful path, as you learn what it feels like to choose peace. You know, a lot of us want peace, but we don't even know how to choose it because we don't even know what it looks like. We don't even know what it feels like. I know that has been true for myself. So let's tap into some guidance. I'm getting this structure, the word structure coming into my mind here. Structure is what creates balance. And what's causing the chaos is this attachment to freedom that you have and have always had, always fighting for your own freedom, thinking that someone has taken it from you. And although you may have had that experience, especially when we are children and we are sort of like under the guise of under the the authority of our parents or our guardians, we are no longer that. But many times we carry that same perspective and beliefs into our adulthood and into all of our relationships. And so it's a good thing to remind yourself that you are the authority of your life, that you have complete control over your decisions, over how you react to things. And practicing that skill is what's going to be important moving forward, is undoing the anxiety tied to feeling as if somebody else has control over you, and learning how to take control of your own life. Now, you are free. That is the true message here, is that you are free. You have always been free, and now it's time to learn to take that freedom and enact discipline, create structure so that you can have and experience freedom within it. Freedom and structure are many times two sides of the same coin. It's almost like you can't have one without the other. Too much freedom without structure is chaotic. And too much structure without freedom is rigid. You feel caged, you feel trapped. And what is happening here is you're learning to balance both so that you can experience a more balanced and peaceful life, and more so that you can create the life that you've always wanted. Now, let's move forward into guidance moving forward. We've got big bold vision. Okay, I love this card because this is definitely like a card of remembering your goals, your dreams. What have you been working towards? And sometimes it's tapping into those dreams you had as a child, as a younger adult, and remembering that it's that energy of creation that you need to start that you should start tuning back into, so that you can start seeing yourself again. You can start being who you truly came here to be again. When you tap back into that energy, whether it be through action, through imagination, you are allowing yourself to be who you've always wanted to be, and be motivated to create the structure necessary to bring those dreams to life. Diving for light. This is a call to reflection, to presence with yourself. There is a darkness within you that sometimes you can't shake. And that is what holds you back. And it's nothing outside of yourself. It's the thoughts you have about yourself that have been planted in your head when you were younger, when you were growing up. And this is your sign that those things are no longer true. They were never true. They were never true. They were given to you as a means to control you. And that is why you've always felt so caged. It's because you have emotional thought patterns that weren't yours to begin with. Many times the people who raise us give us these, I'm going to say gifts, because unless, we get to this, because that's how we heal generational trauma. When we are given things that aren't ours, we are given them so we can move them forward and create peace within our family line, within ourselves. Now, it seems like a huge responsibility, but the thing is, this is what you have, and this is what you were given. And to treat it as a gift versus a curse is what's going to help you tune into the solution, to help bring about more peace and to let these dark patterns go. All right, last card. This is the perfect card to end this with. Every journey starts with a single step. Now, don't forget that the past version of you that you are beginning to change, to transform, to transmute from was not a curse, was not bad. It was just you and your journey. And there will be moments you grieve the older version of you because it's familiar, because that's what you've always done. And that grief will sometimes manifest as making same old choices. But this is your opportunity to remember that if you weren't that past version of you, you wouldn't be who you are right now. And although you might not feel that who you are right now is who you want to be, that discomfort, the not knowing, is a sign that you are changing. Change feels uncomfortable because you don't know what's next. And that's okay. It's not just okay, it's necessary for your peace, for your happiness. And so I hope you were able to draw something valuable from today's reading. Have a great day.